Hello and welcome to Bounding into Comics. My name is John Trent. I'm the founder and editor-in-chief at Bounding into Comics. I'm joined by my associate editor, Spencer McCooley, and our co-host, Donald Edmonds. And we have a big show for you tonight. We're going to be talking about Bill Burr's reactions to Gina Carano being canceled by Disney and Lucasfilm. But first, how are you guys doing tonight?
Doing well. How about you, Don?
Just got some stuff from Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Dude,
Anyway, I'll be opening.
Are they giving away? They're giving away card packs and cereal.
Yeah.
Wow. Legit cards.
Yeah. So legit cards. So last month they were doing it in the McDonald's Happy Meals, and then I guess this month they rolled out with the having it in the cereal. So get your Pokemon cards.
Man, my 10-year-old self would have crapped his pants right now.
Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to think back when the last time there was actually something good from stuff like that, and you used to be able to get video games in.
You could get video games. I remember they used to have light up spoons.
Yeah, you used to get demo video games in magazines. Remember?
I remember that.
Yeah.
I also remember getting them with Pizza Hut pizza.
I don't remember Pizza Hut. There was this Chex game that I played. It was like
Chex Quest.
Chex Quest. Yeah, that was
amazing.
that was crazy. But yeah, so we're here to talk about Bill Burr and what he said about Gina Carano's cancellation. And I think I haven't really watched anyone else's reactions to it yet. I did see some headline titles. Okay, so Don might be better on this, but I think we might have a little bit of different opinion than what most people are saying. Maybe I might be wrong on that, but I'll cede to Don's authority on that because he's actually watched what other people have said. But I only really looked at their headlines, so I didn't watch them. But let's pull up. So before we get to this, let's just kind of pull up what he said. Can you pull up the first clip from, which was the day after, February 11th? Really short clip. It was from he does these Thursday night, Friday morning.
Yes, the Thursday morning or Thursday night, Monday morning podcast. I've been listening for about 3.
Whenever we're ready, it'll auto.
Yeah, we got it queued up here. But yeah, so to me, it's I've never really listened to his podcasts before today, but to me it sounds like he just reads a lot of fan mail. Is that
he does. He gives horrible advice to everybody that writes him in because he is not a licensed therapist or psychiatrist or lawyer or anything. He's a comedian.
So is that the part? Is that is that the point of it? He's giving bad advice and that's the joke?
That is the joke.
Okay. Okay, cool. But so before we get to the clip, I do see we have a bunch of folks in the chats. Autumn Sword was here all the way at 4:30 p.m. Wow, you're here really early.
Wow.
The evolved form of Lopter is here with us. YouTube Me says good day, guys.
YouTube Me.
Tep Wokians, the place to be reviews. Hello. That is a new name. I'm probably sure.
Hey.
Oh, is it ETEP? Is that what it is? Okay, I was going to say I totally pronounced that terribly. But yeah, thank you all for joining us. And there's obviously some other folks here that aren't in the chat, but thank you for joining us as well. So let's cue this up and let's listen to what he says here. This is from February 11th, the day after Gina was canceled via social media.
Yeah, social media.
And then, I'm also having a bad week because, I don't know. Because of social media took out yet another friend of mine, and I just don't know. I don't know. It seems like now you can literally make a statement that is uninformed. It's just unbelievable. It's unreal. I mean, just fucking, I don't get it. I don't agree with what I read, but I mean, do I think that then you should everybody gets the electric chair? There's just no hey, you might want to read up on this a little bit more before you compare this to that. It's just like flamethrower, lit, done. Fucking crazy, man. Fucking crazy goddamn times. Anyway.
So there. That's what Bill Burr said the day after Carano was fired on the 11th. I guess that was uploaded on the 11th. So I would assume he probably recorded that on like the
10th or
the day of or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I disagree with him on that. She was what did he say? An uninformed
statement.
Uninformed statement. Yeah. So I think he was wrong. I disagree with him on that. And then he said something else where he kind of said something similar. Because I actually think that what she said was highly relevant, or what she posted was highly relevant. She didn't say anything. She literally posted she shared a post from another Instagram user, Warrior Priest Jim Podcast, which no one seems to recognize because facts be damned, right?
Yeah, of course not.
So she didn't actually say anything. She just shared another post, and in that post, it was pretty much just warning about how like hating your neighbor can lead to like extreme violence. If you want to super paraphrase it, obviously it did use a reference to World War II and what happened then with the Yazidis. But I don't think it was uninformed. And I forget what was the other part that he said. He said something. There was something else where he said like disingenuous or something like that. I don't think it was just. He said something similar to that.
I can't remember.
But, yeah, but I do agree with him that if you step out of line, which is I think would have been more step out of line of the narrative. I think he's right on there. You get the electric chair. You get flamethrowered, which is interestingly enough that he's using a flamethrower reference to describe what happened. That's kind of, I don't know if it's irony is the right word, but it's amusing, to me.
Yes.
But so what did you guys think about this initial statement here?
So I agree with you, John. I think what Carano was saying was highly relevant. I think that everybody is kind of getting too caught up on the use of the World War II image rather than anything else she was saying, and a lot of people are being disingenuous about it.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, and as far as Bill Burr calling it not disingenuous, uninformed, that's his opinion. He can have it. I disagree, but that's his opinion on whatever.
I wonder if that's actually his opinion, though.
Yeah, who knows? Kind of with how wishy-washy he was.
Yeah.
In terms of Bill Burr, the guy always gives this like a little warning, kind of like a spoiler warning for all of his podcasts. He is a complete moron. He's an idiot. He is a guy who goes on the internet and reads a bunch of crap and has a tinfoil hat on for a lot of the things that he thinks. So a lot of people, because of something that he did in Philadelphia where he told off the crowd that was booing him, and he stood up to a bunch of people that were booing a bunch of comedians in Philadelphia probably like 3 or 4 years ago. They think he's like this big old champion of like not giving an F about what people think. And yeah, he doesn't. But in terms of like what he thinks, he's not that intelligent of a person either. So he is a hard worker in terms of like he can get deals with Hollywood and, work his comedy routine to get crowds laughing. But in terms of like being like an intellectual megalomaniac, no, he's far from it. So I don't take anything that he has to say with any kind of authority.
Cool.
Yeah.
I see we have a 99-cent super sticker from Miss Martin Muses. I have to figure out I have to go to see what the sticker is. Hold on. I should have had this set up. Let's see here.
The only 99-cent sticker I know of is
it's a rose.
Oh, okay.
Miss Martin Muses for the rose. We appreciate that.
You.
It looks like a rose at least. I hope it's Yeah, I did want to comment a little bit get back to what you were saying, Spencer, about how people were being disingenuous about the about what Carano shared in the first place. I'm much more cynical on that. I don't even think they were being. I guess disingenuous is still the right word to describe it, but I think they did that on purpose. To use it as a weapon, to use it as a tool to try and get her canceled.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. That's what
Yeah.
that's what I meant by disingenuous. Like they're not using it.
Yeah.
They're not giving it any good faith. They're not trying to approach it with good faith. They're not doing anything except taking the most negative possible interpretation you can take of it and running with it.
Right. Yeah. And then it's not like they would also like put words in her, like she talked about this on the Shapiro show. She doesn't even mention like any political party. She doesn't mention a country. Nope. And people were that's what people were trying to say, and you saw that being spun. You see that being spun everywhere. I think outside of maybe us and maybe a couple other outlets where that's the story that I kept seeing spun, especially in the trades and in the other like niche like I guess niche like comicbook.com and stuff like that. And of course they'll never show the actual post because it exposes them as liars. But that's another story. But yeah, Deviant Porg is responding to you, Don, here. He says, and we shouldn't be expecting celebrities to assume the role of intellectuals anyway. They mostly can't. I assume he's going to be finishing that sentence. But yeah, they can't. Yeah, I totally agree. And I mean, if you've been reading any of our content or even just been following the Daily Stupid for like the past like 2 weeks, I guess we've been doing it. Celebrities are not the most intelligent people on the planet. They are usually talking about things they have absolutely no clue whatsoever about, which is shocking given the fact that you do have the internet at your hands and you can like look this stuff up. They as much as I hate saying this, but maybe they should take a book out of Jen Psaki's playbook and say, I'll circle back to you on that one because I don't know what I'm saying right now.
Who's the actor that said that we shouldn't really put any stock in what the celebrities are saying because they don't know what they're saying?
Freaking Russell.
No,
it wasn't.
Kurt.
No, it was
before that.
It was what's the guy's name who plays Odin?
Anthony
Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins, yeah. Freaking
yes. Anthony Hopkins.
There it is.
I think that was like a year ago, maybe 2.
Maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah, it might have been 2 now.
More than that, but yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. But yeah, he was like, we're stupid. Like, don't take what we're saying.
And like, that's the thing is just the only reason these people become some sort of icon in politics is because they're famous. Like, yes, have your opinion, support who you want to be, but why are we looking at you and saying, oh, X celebrity likes them, that means they're good or bad or whatever? That's so dumb.
Yeah. It's 100% agree. I mean, that's just kind of where we're at with the society holds these people up on a pedestal because they make a lot of money pretending. Like, let's be honest, it's what they do.
And let's be honest too. I'm at least speaking for myself. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. So formulate your own opinions about what we're saying. Read up on stuff that you want to read up on, and formulate your own opinions about things. Be informed, people, and make an informed decision.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. Do your own research for sure. But so that was just like, I don't know, that was like a 40-second clip from the day right after. What I did find interesting is that he was kind of like seemed like he felt emotionally hurt by it, that one of his friends was taken out. Obviously, he doesn't say who, but it's pretty clear he's talking about Carano.
Who else could it be?
Yeah, the day after. So I did take that away from it, that he that there was that like anger there that you could kind of. It was almost kind of like how do I want to describe it? It was. You could, the anger was there, but it had already been kind of like put out with like rocks or whatever, like thrown out on it.
What is the word? There is a word for that. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
So he was resigned resigned.
Yes, that's
already to it because he was just like this again, and he kind of like you could almost understand that he'd already kind of like gotten through like being pissed off stage, and when he did this he was at the resigned stage where he's just like, are you kidding me? Come on, like this happened again. So I do kind of like have like I feel that emotion that he was having there, and I was like makes sense because I feel that emotion a lot.
I was gonna say I feel like a lot of us feel that emotion.
Yeah,
especially
recently.
I think the only difference between us and a lot of people is that we have bounding to write about it in.
Yeah. YouTube Me is saying he partially sold her out. Are you talking about this clip? I guess you could, but to me, it was more just like he was saying that he disagreed with what she was saying. And I guess you can see that as him selling her out, but
to me, that's not selling her out. That's just like, it would be selling her out if all of a sudden Bill Burr went, yeah, I disagree with what she said, and I stand behind Disney, and she totally should have gone. Like, that's selling her out. But he's just going, I disagreed with her. It's so dumb that, like, she got canceled. None of this should happen.
Well, Spencer, to be honest, that's like fully selling her out. He's talking. YouTube Me is like partially.
That is not selling a friend out to me.
Yeah,
like if you and I,
it's a partial sellout.
If you and I got, like, if a cop stopped you and I had committed a crime, and all of a sudden they looked at us and they went, Don, we're going to arrest you, and I'm standing here going, what the hell? That's so, like, why are you doing that? Don't arrest my friend. That's not me selling you out. But if I went, hey, officer, guess what? This guy over here, Don's the one who did it all. Go look in his pocket. He's got the weapon or the drugs or whatever. That's selling you out. Taking an active role in trying to get you taken out, that's selling out.
No, that's a full sellout. We're talking about a partial sellout with this.
Hold on.
Might have.
Hold on. We have some information that can help. Hold on, guys. So YouTube Me he says here he accepted the obviously false accusation rather than accepting her absolutely true one.
Mm-hmm.
What?
So I'm not
agreeing with that. Sorry.
I kind of see what they're saying.
I understand what YouTube Me is saying here. I get where you can come to that conclusion, but I'm not sure in this like small clip that he's actually doing that. And the reason that is because he says that he disagreed with what she posted. And so it's hard to like know if he's being honest there, if he's actually and I think it's right to be skeptical because we see these people are so fake all the time, and they're not below doing this stuff. Where he could be just kind of being disingenuous about like what she posted instead of it being like she was actually like truly warning about like hating your neighbor leads to this stuff.
Here's my problem. Like, there's a difference between selling somebody out and just disagreeing with them. If we start running a purity test saying it's cancel culture if you don't believe with me, then we're going to start losing the plot. Then we're just going to become even more divided. I think that Bill Burr can say, hey, I look at this. This is done. Bill Burr has his own right to look at it and go, I think it was wrong. I disagree with what she said, but I'm still going to stand by her as my friend. I don't see anything wrong with doing that.
Which he didn't. I don't think he ever said he stands by her. I don't think he ever said that.
Well, okay, fine. He may have never said exactly stand by her, but I don't think he's selling her out. But the fact that he's talking about it at all and saying that all the people, just by notion of speaking out against the crowd that went after her, that to me is more standing up for her than selling her out. Because he easily could have just rolled over and either said nothing or issued a statement.
He actually addressed it the day of. No one else really has. Yeah. He addressed it the day after. Not day of, sorry. I haven't seen anyone. John Favreau, silence.
Nothing.
Dave Filoni, silence. Kathleen Kennedy, silence. Carl Weathers posted a.
Carano.
Carl.
All the aid force.
Carl Weathers posted a meme or a video from when Pedro and them were looking at the season 1 trailer. I think. I haven't seen anything from anyone else. Everyone else has been radio silence. Bill Burr is pretty much the only one from the show that has actually said anything. So to that point, credit on him.
Katie Sackhoff.
So
Pedro say something?
I don't think so. But YouTube Me says this, and I do think there is something to this too. He also has his own ass to cover. If someone is open to get burned for past commentary, means he exists. I'm not sure what the second part of that means. It means he exists by luck. I don't understand that. But I do get the first part. And we'll get to that because he makes it very clear that he is that. And I think this. So let's do we want to get to the second part now?
Yeah, we can get to the second.
Kind of digested this first one already. So the second one was just about a week ago, I guess, the 24th.
Yeah, something like that.
On the Bill Burt podcast, which I guess is him and a guy named Burt, and they had a guest named Joe
DeRosa. He's been a longtime friend of Bill Burr since the Opie and Anthony days. If anybody watches.
Yeah, of course. And then the other guy is Burt Kreischer, pretty prolific comedian.
All right, so let's pull that one up. This one's kind of weird, so we might just like skip around on this one. Would this one be easier to just pull up the YouTube and then play and then?
I'll go to the YouTube for this one, so we don't.
And then we'll share screen on this one because they jump around a lot in this one. They start talking about Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, I didn't even clip it that far. So,
and then they eventually start talking about Carano, Joe. What's his name? Joe
DeRosa.
Joe DeRosa brings it up, and then they seem to get like sidetracked, and then Bill Burr brings it back to Gina, and then they talk about Gina for a little bit.
Well, they talk about Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, and then they go and start talking about Pee Wee Herman, and then they get back to Gina again. So they jump around a lot, as
they always do.
Marky says that. He might have said that before, but in this one he says something. He says something very differently, and his actions are very different too, as we'll get to. Yeah, Chris Neville says that. So we'll get to this here. So we'll get to it because he does say that. We'll have that. We're going to play that, Chris.
Free to that person. The bad.
All right.
15 years.
All right. Can you raise your volume a little bit, maybe? Boost it.
Yeah, I'll put it next to my microphone.
Okay.
So I'll be out for a second, but I'll be here.
Okay. All right. We'll just tell you when to pause, and then you can jump back in.
Yeah.
I got a couple of these Me Too cases. The bad date ones.
I keep
being like, should we have treated that person like Harvey Weinstein or whatever?
They absolutely. Bill. I keep saying. I was saying it the other day about Gina Carano or whatever her name is. It's like, look, you can say that her tweet was stupid or clumsy or whatever, but the reaction to it to me was so crazy that I was like, guys, this is going to be a thing that you look back on. And the example for that is everybody said George W. Bush was the devil. If you in any way supported him or liked him or whatever, you were the devil. There was something wrong with you. You were a racist. You were this, you were that. That fucking guy is on the talk show circuit now. He goes on Kimmel and he kicks back and he gets applause breaks. And everybody goes, he's kind of cute.
Remember how you pause it real quick there?
And
so if you remember, I think they tried to cancel Ellen DeGeneres for sitting next to George Bush.
Yeah, it was Ellen.
So he's not really like making 100% argument on that.
No, but I believe him.
But I get what he's saying, but we're gonna still try to cancel people.
Like the second I heard him say that, the first thought that popped into my head was, we're gonna see that with Trump. Watch it.
Oh, yeah, maybe we'll see. I don't know. But I mean, there's still people trying to cancel. They were trying to cancel Ellen for sitting next to him at like a football game. Okay.
That with half of these canceled people going, shit, man. Sorry about that. Sorry about the last date. It's like a guy in jail for marijuana right now in LA. You know what I mean?
I just saw Pee Wee Herman on the Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They ruined Pee Wee, dude.
And he was jerk off where you're supposed to.
Okay. We can stop here, pause here, and then like skip because then they talk about Pee Wee Herman for
what he did.
Yeah. We don't need to hear that.
Oh.
All right, here.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, shit,
it's
boys.
a weird time. I don't know. I kind of, I have, unless you did some truly horrible shit. I mean,
If you hurt someone, I don't have time for you. But if we're talking about words, even bad words. I'm like, come on, man. I mean,
No, I wouldn't say that. No, if you're just saying overtly racist shit, yeah.
Oh, no,
but I mean,
yeah,
if you make like a bad comparison,
yeah.
you know, if you come off like Joe trying to find where Atlanta is compared to New York,
So can you pause it real quick?
like,
So one of the things that I found really interesting about this is that we actually get to see Burr's like body language and stuff. So even when he's saying bad comparison, he's literally scratching his head. He's like, it's almost like he doesn't believe what he's saying when he's saying bad comparison. So I don't know. Sorry, I just thought that was interesting that he does that because it's not like he has I don't think he has an itch on his head because I don't really see him scratch his head moving the rest of this interview. All right, so yeah, that's just okay. You can keep going now.
you know, homophobic. That's just ignorant.
What did Carano say? She said that she goes in 1940s Germany. I'm paraphrasing, but she said in 1940s
Which is always
Germany,
a good thing to do on something like this.
So pause this.
On the tweet.
Bill Burr's 100% right here.
Oh yeah, no, I laughed when I heard that because I'm like,
He's 100% right. They're and I guess we kind of did it too earlier, but where we paraphrased it. But I mean, we've covered it so often. Like you can see it on our website.
I also think it's a bit different because our audience is probably very familiar with the situation, whereas the Bill and Bert's audience is probably just more general. Probably just heard that she got fired, so I get that.
Yeah, Bert actually asks like he doesn't really understand, doesn't know what's happening. But yeah, YouTube me's like just pull up. It's not even a tweet. They think the guys thinks it's a tweet. It's literally an Instagram story that was deleted, and then Deadline thinks that it was scrubbed. And they wrote that multiple times in their articles when they were getting exclusives from Shapiro and Carano, which I don't even understand why you would do that when they're just lying about you. But that's probably a whole nother stream. But yeah, I thought this was great that he pointed this out, like bring it up, and they should have 100%. They should have brought it up so people could see it, but they don't want to bring it up because they don't want you to actually see it. Like that's the whole.
I think in reality, in most cases, I think this is lazy because it's just a podcast.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right here, but yeah. Okay, let's keep going.
Right, let's go.
I don't have the quote in front of me, but she said she basically compared.
Hold on, pause it right. Sorry.
Persecuted.
I don't have the quote in front of me, but I'm on the computer, which has the internet, which I can.
I know, that's so weird.
Sorry.
To be fair, though, whenever you pull up a website and you're doing a podcast at the same time, your computer performance goes to crap. You might lose your connection.
What about your phone?
We do that. So I don't know. There's no excuse for that.
But they're old. Just saying.
They have a producer. Like they have an actual person working behind the scenes. So, because this is run by some ATC or whatever that is, like some media company.
All right. Wow. Professionals.
Next.
Wow.
DeviantPork is bounding into EFAP. Yeah.
In front of me, but she said she basically compared political beliefs now being persecuted to the fact that in 1940 Germany, the way the Nazis were so able to take power and do whatever they wanted was because they brainwashed citizens into picking on their Jewish neighbors and eventually attacking their Jewish neighbors. And she said, how is that any different from attacking people for their political beliefs? I get what she was trying to say. Obviously, any comparison to anything with the Holocaust is it's a shoddy comparison. You're going to piss people off. It's a dumb thing to do. I'm not disagreeing with any of that. But here's what bothered me. The grounds for her being fired based on that opinion was that she was somehow reducing the plight of Jewish people during World War II. Okay, I get that. I understand that perspective. However, how is it any different from all the people on the left when Trump got nominated or elected and they said, he's like Hitler? How is that any different? That's the same reduction of circumstance. But on one side of that coin, it's okay to say, and on the other, it won't even be entertained.
Joe DeRosa.
Interesting, Joe.
That's an interest. Joe DeRosa with an interest. Hey, look at you.
Pause. Keep going.
No, keep going.
Bedspreads there, and all of a sudden Joe comes in.
Bill, I've had a lot of time to think.
Okay, you can pause it there. So I found that really interesting. So like Don can say that like Bill Burr isn't isn't the sharpest tool in the shed, and that's what he says. I actually think that right there showed some high intelligence, where he's kind of basically like, yeah, Joe, you're 100% right, but I can't say that, but I'm gonna say that like you have an interesting point. Like
Yeah, right.
So that, yeah, very like, I mean, he's a comedian. You know that he's also an actor. He's trained himself to be very good with how to say things and how to like work around things. So I did find this a really interesting part of the interview here, where Joe is talking about he actually does a pretty good job paraphrasing the post, and then obviously he has to like say that he has to signal against it because he's Hollywood, and then he does actually bring up the double standard, which I mean we've been bringing that up for a while now, but yeah, so I thought that was really interesting that he brings that up, and that seems to me like he was kind of agreeing with it without saying he was agreeing with it. That was just my take on that part there.
Yeah, no, I definitely can see that, or hear that rather.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, Joe, is she should have compared it to slavery, and it would have been better. I just don't. All I'm saying is, whether you agree, disagree, whatever, I just don't get this place that we're in, where there's no room for discussion about anything, and even
because there's too many channels, Joe. Too many channels,
wild.
and then you gotta like do sensational shit. I don't know what the fuck it is. I mean, I'm on that fucking show. Now I gotta watch what the fuck I say.
Yeah, I know.
So pause that there. So he knows. He's like, I have to watch what I say, and obviously he's known that since they started talking.
Oh yeah.
Like, so he already knows that. So to me, this is right. That right there is obviously there is a confirmation that there is a culture of fear within Lucasfilm, and I would argue Disney at large, and he's confirming it right there, that culture exists because he has to watch what he has to say because he might be next. Like he says, I'm on that show.
Now here's the question: is that specifically a Lucasfilm Disney culture, or is that just the culture we're living in? Because that happens to every company under the sun we're in now. I don't think you could have anybody these days not living in that fear.
Warner Brothers ABC
Yeah.
allowed Chris Harrison to resign from The Bachelor, and that wasn't because cancel culture came after him, and then Warner Brothers ABC told him, probably behind the closed doors, because Chris Harrison said, "Hey, I know how this plays out." In that interview with. You go on Abounding in the Comics, you can read the article. But he said that I know how this plays out with the woke police. And then the week later, he is apologizing, kowtowing on his Instagram feed. And it's because most likely, Warner Brothers ABC said, hey, you need to step down.
So getting back to Spencer's question, and I think you're 100% right. That's how it plays out. But getting back to Spencer's question about whether it's culture at large or if it's in Hollywood, the only reason why it's culture at large is because it's infected these corporations, and these corporations have embraced it and endorsed the culture within them, instead of saying like, we're not firing Gina Carano, we're firing you for being a cancel cultist. Get out of our company.
I agree with that. I mean, I don't know if I would fire them for that, but I like that.
You talk to them or whatever, training, right, whatever. And if it doesn't, and they keep doing it, fire them, right?
You escalate.
So, yeah.
I definitely I agree with that, but that's why I'm also saying like it's not a product of Disney. It's just that they are endorsing it, and because they are a big one, like a big company, it's easy to ascribe it to them. But I think it's, like Don pointed out, it's happening at WB. It happens at almost anywhere.
Yeah, if you've been following us, for even even for like the last week, I even reshared on Twitter the Warner Brothers hiring the who she literally has called herself a Marxist, and they've hired her as for a picture deal. So it's not. I'm not trying to. When I was saying that, it's not exclusive to Disney. It's a lot of these major corporations have this problem. Obviously, the Coca-Cola, perfect example. We just covered that last week. So it's not just Hollywood either. It's a lot of the major corporations have been infected with this stuff. But it is part of Disney's culture now too. Just because it's with other companies doesn't mean that Disney.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that.
Needs to have it keep going.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that.
Keep allowing it. Yeah. No, I know you're not. I was just.
Yeah.
You posed a question, and I know that wasn't like what you were.
No,
what
you were just
saying.
and
I'm
just the thought.
Yeah. So I hope that answers that. I hope I answered that question pretty well there. But this right here totally shows that that culture is alive and well within the Mandalorian, which is a show that is executive produced. So I have no qualm saying this, which is executive produced by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, and they have not said anything. They have been silent. So whether or not they were actually going to bat for Gina is undetermined. That's still baseless speculation and rumors. Gina, I think she said there were some people that did try and fight for her, and obviously they lost, but she didn't name any names because she also talked about how it's a culture of fear and everyone's afraid of their job. And the reason why people are afraid of their jobs is because people in positions of power, that ultimately is Lucasfilm president is Kathleen Kennedy. And then you could even go up to, if you want to look at what happened with James Gunn, the person who made that decision was Alan Horn and Bob Iger, which are the Disney CEO at the time was Bob Iger, and Alan Horn was like president of like Walt Disney Pictures or something like that.
Like second in command or something.
Yeah, second in charge.
Also, keep in mind, Bill Burr has more on his plate than just The Mandalorian. He has F is for Family. He also has Netflix deals for his comedy specials. I believe he still has residuals for when he did the whatever that movie was that came out recently that was supposed to come out in theaters, King of Staten Island or something like that.
Oh yeah, he was in King of Staten Island with the SNL guy. Yeah.
But and then whatever other projects too. So
yeah, and I get that, but I would make the. So you're arguing that he would be more cautious because of that. I would argue, given the fact that he's a comedian, there's more to gain. There's more reward there coming out of that. I mean, the example there, Chappelle. They've been trying to cancel him, and he just comes out with another Netflix special, and it goes like super viral. So and was like dominating for like most of with 2020, I think, right? Especially the beginning part of 2020. That Netflix special, I think it was 2020, right? In the beginning,
2019 maybe.
2019 maybe.
Yeah, very recently, whenever.
So I get where you're coming from, Don, but I do think that I mean, with that, it all depends on whether or not people are going to be afraid to book him, right? If Netflix is going to be like, oh, you got canceled for Mandalorian, so we're going to cancel your comedy shows. I get where you're coming from with that too, but then again, that goes back to the people that are in charge canceling you. So,
I think Deviant put it quite pointedly. I can't say it out loud, but
he's a white guy. It's like Gary says it like that, I think. Yeah. So Ricky Gervais is kind of in the same boat, but I don't know. His so like he came out and did that Golden Globes thing, and I feel like his what was that? His Netflix show like went bonkers. People were checking it out after that, the first season. It had been out for like a year. And then I just point back to like Gina actually standing up to them in the first place, and that's when her star began rising. Like she literally didn't have a Twitter following really at all, bigger than Bounding obviously, because she was in The Mandalorian. But like when she first started standing up to them, and like August, I think June or August, her Twitter following like just blew up when she
bigger
actually
than Bounding.
Stand up to yes, a lot bigger than so So I think that also goes to the fact that the mentality is that they think that by doing this it's bad for business, when I think the opposite might actually be true. So but that's just Hollywood, that the up is down and down is up for them. So Bob Bug with honey
eyes.
Bob Bug with one eye skiing.
Oh, okay.
Bug with one. Okay, yeah. Thank you. Is King says, do you remember being canceled would get you more work for being cool and edgy? I think that's possible. I think that's definitely still
George Carlin
a possibility. All right, let's keep going here. So he does say some more interesting stuff here.
I'm a fan of that show. We all everybody. What show is she on? What show is she on? The Mandalorian.
The Star Wars,
Right.
yeah.
So I can't. So pause it real quick. Is Burr like playing a bit here? Like he's just supposed to be like the guy who doesn't know anything,
No, I
or
think
like he's like legit not now?
I think he
Okay.
legitimately didn't know what show she was
legit.
So it's interesting that he still does it. He like this is February 24th, and he has no idea about what's happening. So I do think that's interesting.
He knows she was fired. That's all.
Right.
He knows. Like that's what's crazy about it. He doesn't
He
know.
doesn't know why. He doesn't even know what show she was on.
Who asks in the beginning, like, what was she fired for?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. That's what's crazy.
So I do find that interesting. So that's why I want to point back to that our show from Wednesday, I think, with Ryan Kinnell when we were I think it was Wednesday, we were talking about that. I think it was Wednesday. We brought up that article from Hollywood and Toto, from Christian Toto, and he was pointing out that the media will just keep pushing that narrative. So that's what people think. Because there are people like Bird who like literally have no idea what's happening. So
Pretty nuts.
So yeah, it's crazy.
Talk to normie friends. They'll sound exactly like Bert. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually pretty true. Like everybody I know who doesn't watch The Mandalorian or like nerd stuff is just kind of like, do you hear about that lady, that Star Wars lady who got fired? And it's like, wow, that is so unspecific.
Yeah, I was talking to friends and they just had no idea what's happening whatsoever. They're like, we just started watching The Mandalorian season 1. It's great.
Yeah, they'll watch the 3rd season and be like, wait, where did that chick go? Oh, well, she was only in like a couple of episodes, blah, blah, blah.
Right. All right.
That's how deep cancel culture is. They canceled her action figure. It's like, let the action figure come out. I mean,
did she ever pony up to you, Bill? And be like, Bill, I got a few ideas I think that you'll like.
No, she was an absolute sweetheart.
Yeah.
Super nice fucking person, and whatever. And somehow someone will take this video and they'll fucking make me say something else and try to get rid of my bald action figure.
Okay.
Yeah, do you have an
So right there, he says, like, we already heard him call her a friend, and now he's saying that she's a sweetheart and super nice, and she was great on set. And he did perform with her in season 2. She's the one who goes and gets him from the penal colony. The Republic is using slave labor now for criminals, and I guess I don't know, and it's not really slave. He's paying his due back to society for his crimes. That's a whole. We'll talk. That's a whole different topic.
Here's the thing.
On Friday's review of The Mandalorian.
Here's the thing. Bill Burr has been on several broadcasts of the Opie and Anthony show. If any of you have listened to the Opie and Anthony show, they were pushing the envelope as much as Howard Stern was when he was on Sirius XM. They actually got their show canceled because of some guy who said he was going to R-word a number of like political leaders and royalty in France and England. And this guy was part and parcel with them, with Jim Norton and Jim Jeffries and what was that other guy that was doing some inappropriate stuff in front of a bunch of people?
Louis? He wasn't on.
Louis. Yeah, Louis.
CK.
Louis is also
Louis
part of
CK.
that. And then, so, anybody could go and find stuff that he was participating in with the Opie and Anthony show and cancel him just off of that. And that was like 2007, 10 years ago. I guess it's fair game.
I mean, that's what they got Kevin Hart on. So
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, he does make a joke about that. I'm sure they have to have Miggs Mayfeld action figures, right?
I'm hoping. I haven't seen anything. I gotta look it up now. I have the internet in front of me.
They do. They do.
Yeah, they totally do.
Oh no! Wait, someone made their own. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Did you find a real one?
Yeah, he's getting a Red Series
Oh,
figure.
6-inch Black Series looks like too. Yeah.
6-inch
Yeah.
Black Series. That's
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, there are Miggs Mayfield action figures. Get them before they cancel Bill Burr.
Yeah, dude, right?
All right, next. Or keep going.
No.
Oh,
No, you fucking nerds.
if you get one, dude, I'm buying it. I'm
I
buying
might.
it.
I don't know. I have no
That
idea.
season was
Yeah, pause
awesome.
real quick.
That
Oh.
second season was killer.
So he has to know because they give those people that stuff.
But I don't think there is. The one that's on Google is a custom one.
Oh, really? Well, I see that, but I see an article here that says
I know the Hasbro's latest.
the
From-
top 10 Mandalorian 6-inch Black Series figures, and one is it says Mayfeld in the description. Maybe. Oh no, that's speculation. That's speculation. Never mind. Okay. Yeah. So maybe there isn't one. I'm surprised.
Yeah, for real. I mean, he's only been in 2 episodes.
yeah. So
There's a poster.
Posters are easy.
Cardboard. There's a cardboard cutout.
Okay, that's
$5 on Amazon.
that is surprising.
So there's a cardboard cutout, but there isn't an action figure yet. That's interesting.
So, if you want to attract all those customers in who are fans of Mayfeld,
Yeah. All right. Let's keep going.
They should
Yeah.
do a flashlight for you.
Huh?
Nothing.
Yeah, he plays dumb there.
Honestly, I can't
Oh, yeah.
how it is out there. It's fucking crazy time. They just like there's just people just waiting, just laying in the weeds.
It really is, man.
You think there is a group of people, like a type of person out there reading the trades and then going, Joe DeRosa signs a 6-figure deal. All right, let's deep dig him, find out what he did wrong, and that's how I spend my day.
Absolutely.
Let's show that he's human and he's made a mistake in his past, and
Yeah.
let's take that dream away. I don't know how it works.
They're pause real quick.
There are people do.
They're probably doing it right now.
oh yeah, 5,000%. Yeah.
I probably gave him a suggestion by looking up the Anthony and Opie show.
Yeah, especially since like literally everyone in the Fandom Menace is now covering this.
As soon as I heard him say that, I was like, "Come on,
Yeah.
Joe! Like, of course there are people doing this. Like,
Yeah.
come on."
Yeah, I don't think it's as much as that they're like waiting in the weeds to like go after certain people. I think it's just like, this is our next target. Let's get them, kind of thing.
I think there's a little bit of both. I think there are a lot of people who, tomorrow, Don Edmonds is announced as the new Giant Man in Ant-Man 3. People would go, "Oh, who is this? Let's go drag him because he's new. I've never heard of blah blah." But
And I would never be Giant Man.
better than a 4-inch Black Series. But then I also think there are people where like Gina or before they actually got him, like James Woods, like they're waiting for certain people. They are holding and waiting for that moment to strike.
Yeah, right, with Gina for sure, because they were trying to go after her after she was already like they kind of already were getting her.
Yeah.
I can see that. I don't know if there's people just like before. I'm trying to think of an example. Like the Kaye woman, Sasha Kaye from Supergirl.
Yeah.
No one had ever heard of. I don't think there's anyone was already like trying to get her.
Oh no.
Before she was announced. But I guess that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Those ones, like her, that's spontaneous. That's like, oh, she's announced, let's look her up. But then,
right,
like I said, there are people waiting.
Yeah, there's, oh gosh, when I come from
totally waiting for Roseanne, anyone they don't like, these people are totally waiting for
anyone
that speaks.
When they see somebody that they do not like because they want to ship somebody else or they want to have somebody else raised up into the limelight rather than this person. So there's a lot of disgruntled Raylos who probably don't like an actual strong, independent woman in Gina Carano. So what they will do, they will diminish her to raise up maybe Ray or, Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah, well, I don't know about Ahsoka because they're going after her next. But
yeah.
But yeah, no, I can see them. I can see, you have that angle as well. That's
Petty
definitely.
people.
I mean, there's all kinds of different reasons why these people go after them, but I do think the biggest one is political, 100%, or ideological, however you want to describe that.
But at the base of it is just pettiness.
Pettiness. I think there's pettiness, but I also think, as John and I have talked about before, power. There's a power here, whether it's the power of corporations to keep, the little guy under their boot, or it's that small hit of power somebody might get when they see oh, the account I reported is banned. Whatever it is, it's that power that keeps them coming back to do this.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's keep going here.
Bert, I think it's even farther than that. I think there are people that are watching who's about to break, and just like they preemptively buy .com names, right? So they can sell them back to the famous person because they know. Oh,
look at Burr now. He's just totally can we move on from this?
There's people lying in wait like that and just saying, this guy's star's starting to rise a little bit. Let me just dig a few things up. It's got to be. I mean, this shit comes out so fucking fast. It's crazy.
It is kind of crazy. I think it really speaks for having flying under the radar and just making a living and just going I don't need to be Will Ferrell. I can just be this guy. Either that or put all your shit out there so bad that you're yeah, I'm an alcoholic, and everyone's all right, he's gonna kill himself. We'll let him do his thing.
Yeah.
How about you just be an individual and you continue to buy tickets to people that you want to go see?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just sort of fucking.
So pause that there. You can't. So that's a disingenuous comparison because you can't. Gina's not a stand-up comedian. She's not selling tickets to a show.
I think he's saying that in the opposite. If you don't like something, then don't buy tickets to go see him. Why don't you just go support the ones you want to do? Why do we have to attack and denigrate people who we disagree with?
Yeah, he makes that point later. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. To me, the few people that have they go back out on tour, and then they're gonna sell out, and people want to go see him, and then the people who don't want to see him don't even want to let the people that still want to see him or her see him. Then it just becomes I'm sitting there. I could say, my thing about that is how do you hold up you judging somebody that harshly about, because I'm not talking about the hardcore shit sexual assault and rape and stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about, because now it's becoming hey, you made an ignorant comparison. There goes your dream, right?
Right.
I look at that. It's who the fuck stands up to that?
I mean, dude,
so pause it right there.
It's a great.
So this right here is where I think it kind of Burr's comments start kind of going off the rails here. So he's obviously referring to Carano there. I think ignorant comparison, which I think I disagree with him. If he wants to believe that he's fine to believe that. I think he's wrong. And then he asks who's going to stand up to that? Well, obviously he just shows himself as a coward because he's not going to. And I think that is just.
I think it was more rhetorical because he is standing up to it by the sheer fact that he is on this podcast right now talking with Bert and agreeing in the affirmative that this cancel crap is out of control. Even if he disagrees with Gina, he's putting up some sort of fight against it. But I think what Bert and Bill are asking in the larger picture is it's that battle of the corporations. If every corporation is going to kowtow to this small group of complainers on the internet, everybody's going to suffer from it. And who's going to push back? Will it be Fox? Will it be like, where does it end essentially?
I don't know. Back it up and let's listen to that again, because that's not how I
sort of just sort of fucking, because that's one of the things that's weird to me is a few people that have like they go back out on tour and then like you know, they're gonna sell out and people want to go see him, and then the people who don't want to see him don't even want to let the people that still want to see him or her see him. Then it just becomes like, I'm sitting there. It's a. My thing about that is how do you hold up you judging somebody that harshly about, because I'm not talking about like the hardcore shit like sexual assault and rape and stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about, because now it's becoming like, hey, you made an ignorant comparison. There goes your dream, right?
Right.
I'm like, I look at that. It's like, who the fuck stands up to that?
I mean, dude,
see, I don't know if he's asking a rhetorical question there. I think he's actually asking the question, who stands up to it? No one is.
I think it's rhetorical, but I have a different take on it now, listening to it a second time. I think he's more asking who the hell is going to stand up to that.
Right, yeah. He's not.
I still think he is standing up to it, just in the sense that every day for example, when I write an article about whatever Zoe Quinn is saying or whatever Kotaku has said today, I definitely have that feeling of like, man, when will this end? When will somebody just fucking stand up and just tell him no? Doesn't mean I'm a coward and I'm not fighting it, but it means that I recognize how limited my resources are and my pull is.
I don't. Reluctancy is not fighting.
I get that. Yeah,
he's actively on here saying I don't like cancel culture,
but he's doing it so reluctantly.
Right. He says he says he doesn't like cancel culture, but he's not saying like Disney was wrong. He's not saying Lucasfilm was wrong. He's not saying what they did to Gina was wrong.
2 seconds ago, you guys literally just said you understand why Bill Burr would have to be safe on this podcast.
I understand why.
So it's
understanding why he needs to be safe is also.
But it's unfair to say we know he has to be safe, and then but why the hell isn't he saying anything?
I understand why he's not saying anything.
No, understanding why he needs to be safe is different than criticizing him for actually not being safe. There's two different things.
What do you mean he's not being safe? I don't understand.
Me understanding that he isn't, that understanding why he's not going more hard against Disney and Lucasfilm is different than me saying like he should be going more hard. Like, I understand why he's doing it. That doesn't mean I think that he should be actually making a much bigger stand.
You do think he should be making a much bigger stand?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. 100%. So I think he should be making a bigger stand. But I understand why he's not, because he has a lot to lose. Right. Us making a stand against Disney and Lucasfilm and all these Hollywood corporations, that's understandable. We have nothing to lose. We don't have our necks on the line.
I've thrown a lot away
of properties.
So.
Yeah, there's a lot to lose. So.
Ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to be a Marvel or DC artist. And as soon as I started writing for Bounding, I knew that was over. So I would consider that a very big throwaway.
Yeah, but they didn't hire you. That's the thing.
No, I 100% agree with Spencer. It's a huge risk. Like, so compare that. Like, you took that huge risk to write for us. You become an associate editor. That's Bill Burr isn't taking that same risk. Do you see? Does that make sense?
Your argument makes sense. I think I disagree with it. I think he is taking a stance, even if it is not as strong as we would all like to see it.
Right. I'm not arguing against. I'm not saying he's not taking a stance. I'm criticizing him for not taking a bigger stance.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I get that, and I get where you're coming from. I don't know if I am on that same level of criticism, because it's like, I mean, and you can denigrate me for this opinion all you want, but it's like almost like take what you can get. Like, oh my, I'm just so baffled and blown away that there is still somebody in this sphere who even names cancel culture by name and doesn't just wave it off as hysteria. Like, I'm not looking my gift horse in the mouth, essentially.
Right, I get that too, but it's just, I don't know. To me, like YouTube me saying here, and this is, I need to compose my thoughts a little bit more. But he's saying he's not a hero. Us making the complaints isn't a lack of stuff to lose. It's more like our brand. I think he's talking about us banding. I'm not sure. I'm confused there. But yeah, getting back to like what for my argument, what I'm saying is that he's saying that cancel culture is bad, but he's not actually, like, what is he, besides saying it?
What else?
Is he working behind the scenes with Jon Favreau?
How do you know?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know that. That's information I don't have. He's not saying it. He's not saying that he is. He seemed resigned in that first take. In here, he's saying like, you get your, and he's saying I have to watch what I say now. So to me, that, I don't know. Maybe I'm inferring here. I'm making too many assumptions. But to me, he's not doing that.
Well, hear me out, guys.
Hold on.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, Don.
Okay, so Bill Burr is infamous for punching down on a large group of people coming at him. If you all watched his Philly show back in the day, you'd understand that he does not give an F about what people are booing him and whatnot. The issue is when the masses tell the corporations what needs to be done with actors, actresses, creatives. Bill Burr has no problem telling the mob to F off, to say that the mob doing what they're doing is wrong. But he has a problem when it's the people who are paying his paychecks.
How do you know that?
Money. Because he won't say anything against those corporations and those big businesses.
The fact that he said he has to watch what he has to say
exactly
makes it pretty clear.
Yeah.
So you guys, the only way you guys would have been okay with anything Bill Burr is saying is if he quit The Mandalorian and stood in defense of her 100%?
Or if he said, hey, I don't agree with what Disney did. I don't agree with what Lucasfilm did to fire her. He always pointed to the mob canceling her. He always pointed to the online Twitter canceling her. But never Lucasfilm, never...
Literally in our coverage of it, we pointed to the mob and said that it was the mob who started this and Disney's fault for caving in.
Yes, that's what we did, but he's not doing it.
I'm not seeing the same level of outrage here, and that's just me personally. I don't think he's as principled as a hero as everybody has made him out to be in our spheres, but I also don't think that he's as yellow bellied as we're kind of getting to right now.
I wouldn't call it yellow-bellied, but I'd call it like an understanding of his position.
I think he's being cowardly here by not calling out Disney, who actually did fire her and caved to the internet mob, or that was their excuse to fire her, was the internet mob's outrage.
I think we all know what we would love to see, but I think we're all forgetting, like, let's look at the reality of what's going on. Like, yes, it sucks. And of course we all think Disney is bullshit, but he's also like, he wants that job. He doesn't want to lose it. I'm sure it's like, but it's it's office politics and it sucks.
No, I like, again, I understand that. But at the same time, the reason why those office politics exist is because no one's saying anything, because he's not actually calling them out.
You're also looking at the wrong person. He's just an actor. Even if he went out there and he said, I don't agree with what Disney's doing, what's going to happen?
I can criticize him. I already criticized Filoni and Favreau in this.
I know.
So like, but what I'm saying, I'm not just criticizing it. This is just who we're talking about.
I know you're not just criticizing him, but at the same time, you guys are ascribing like, why didn't he do so much more to stand up for her? Why didn't he do all this? And it's like, I feel like you think he has too much, or you're ascribing more pull to him than he has.
No, I don't care what his pull is. I think he needs to make, to me, I'm obviously not Bill Burr, but I think he, like, instead of just kind of walking around, beating around the bush, he just said what Disney did was wrong and they shouldn't have done it. Like, he's saying it, like, he's like, cancel culture is wrong, but he's not actively saying like my employer made the wrong decision. I don't understand why that's too hard. Like, why is that such a big leap for him to say that?
Because
that's why I think he's kind of,
there's probably something in his contract. And if he breaches his contract, it's not only losing his job, but he'd probably end up in a bunch of legal trouble. And that's costly. Like I'm not saying that's what's morally correct, but I'm saying that's the reality of the world we live in, is sometimes we have to recognize that we don't have every resource available to us we don't have every resource available to us to fight with, but at least he's fighting. The fact that he's, I mean, when you
I commend
you inferred so much. You inferred so much from just his body language and all this stuff, saying that
I pointed his body language out.
That you don't believe him, but why can't you infer? Like, what's to say that somebody won't infer from him going, cancel culture is wrong, that he's not talking about Disney?
So I think you're missing the point here. So, like, we did commend him earlier. I commended him for calling out cancel culture. We commended him for almost the greater part of an hour that he was calling that out. And now, for the probably past like 10, 15 minutes, we're criticizing him for not going far enough. And I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
All right.
So, because we did commend him for calling out the cancel culture, but I think that he could have also done something more with Disney and Star Wars.
Everybody could have done something more, but I'm also trying to.
Right, that's the whole point, though. They haven't.
But I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. What, you didn't let me finish. Everybody can do something more, but there are sometimes limitations holding us back.
Yeah, that's my argument.
So he's limited in being held back, and I understand that. But the fact that he is still fighting out in some capacity doesn't disqualify that.
I think we're kind of saying the same thing now.
Yeah, essentially.
Because we did commend him for that, and like what Don and I are saying is that, like, yes, it's good for him to fight, but we want to see him actually take that next step.
Yeah, it's that connection between mob, employer. Employer is being influenced by the mob.
If we're gonna talk about how we're inferring things and assuming things, and why would nobody assume that Bill Burr's talking about the show he's on and the event that just happened?
What?
When he's talking about cancel culture around Gina, and yes, he does not name Disney, but who is going to listen to that and go, "Oh, I have no idea who he's talking about"? They're gonna know if you're going to the Bill Burr podcast, you're gonna know he's on the Mandalorian. You're gonna have known that he was on, that Gina was, or maybe you don't, or sorry, you'll probably know that Gina was fired. Probably not, maybe not for what, like Bert, but you'll know that she was fired. So if you go to his stream and he starts talking about his friend and Gina, I mean, like right here, he specifically names Gina, you're gonna know what situation he's talking about. Yes, I would love to hear him say the words directly, Disney and Lucasfilm, but I don't think he's absolving them of everything. I think they're automatically in the conversation because of what happened, even if he doesn't name them.
I like that argument a lot. It's a very, I think you laid that out really well. I'm going to point to Bert and be like, Bert doesn't know anything to kind of counter that.
But he knew she was fired. That's what I mean.
Right, but they never mentioned Disney. They never mentioned Lucasfilm. He has no idea what's going on. So that's where I'm going to point. That's where I'm going to counter that, because he actually isn't saying it. So there's a lot of people like Bert that probably have no idea what's going on. So they just hear him say what does he say? The social media mob got them, I think is what he says. And that's what they think. I think there's a lot of people that don't make that connection. I think we can. We obviously know what's going on. We cover this, but I do think there are a lot of people that they don't they don't make that connection, even though it's staring them in the face.
I'd see
When
that.
you have
I
a
can see
Disney
that.
spokesperson actually like announcing
Like
it.
comes out and says it.
But yeah, I think a lot of people they're they got other things that they're going on that's taking over their life.
Yeah, if Kathleen Kennedy came out next week and said, "We made this decision to fire Gina Carano from The Mandalorian to no longer extend her contract," that's a name, that's a face, that's a person in Lucasfilm in the whatever.
But I don't think
camp.
anybody who doesn't know the situation now isn't going to be swayed by Kathleen Kennedy. They know her less than they know Gina.
Yeah, but they know her as Lucasfilm.
No, they don't.
No.
They don't know her.
Most people have no idea who Kathleen Kennedy is. I 100%. Yeah, people don't know who she is.
Even my friends who are super Star Wars nerds, but still closer to normies, don't know who Kathleen Kennedy is.
Yeah.
Mm.
So Deviant Pork says, and I'm not. I think he'll have to clarify this for us. He says, to Spencer's point, every video about it is titled "Bill Burr destroys Disney" or things like that. I think that's.
I don't think so. I don't.
Yeah,
think so.
I don't think he destroyed Disney at all.
I know Jeremy's was not that on Geeks and Gamers, because I did read that headline. I don't know what he said, but I know his headline wasn't like that. I did see a lot of headlines like that.
We did, we did see those.
Deviant.
And that's why we all kind of prefaced before we came on, like, do we all we kind of had an internal bounding talk, like, what do we all think about this? And we were all like, yeah, we don't think that he's the superhero that everybody's putting him out to be.
I mean,
he didn't destroy Disney.
When Opie and Anthony were canceled way back in the day, he didn't speak about it. He didn't speak out on it. He didn't say anything about it, and it's kind of miraculous, I guess, that they were able to get even this little tidbit out of him about what he thought about what was going on.
So let's continue, because I think to me the worst part happens.
It's a great question, and the brutal part of it is,
Joe, every once in a while you send a compliment my way. I appreciate it.
Bill, it's a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thank you.
The
Big fan, Joe. I'm a big fan of you.
No, but I mean, it's the problem. The problem isn't the first part of that. The problem is it's not just go buy tickets you want to go see. Of course, obviously, the problem is they go into the Yelp reviews of the venues, and they try to get the venues shut down.
Can we just
And
talk
fuck
about
the
something
wait
else?
staff
Who
or
gives a
whatever.
fuck? Let's
Yeah,
talk
you're
about taste buds. Jesus Christ, we're sitting here talking about Britney Spears and fucking Janet
Ready?
Jackson and Justin
Ready?
Timberlake shit
Let's
from
talk
20 years
about
ago.
it.
All right, it's time.
All right.
Yeah.
So obviously he eventually just ended the conversation completely because he did not want to continue it, even though he was actively engaged in it for 30 minutes.
I don't think it was
10 minutes.
I don't think
What's
it was
that?
actively.
Yeah, well,
I still say reluctantly.
Yeah, reluctant.
You can still be reluctant and active.
Yeah. Spencer.
He was still on the show paying attention, even if it was reluctant. He wasn't sitting in the
Right.
background having questions yelled at him.
But yeah, so that he ends it. He wants to stop talking about it. And he doesn't even want to talk about, like, even when it starts moving away from Gina, like, he doesn't even want to like address it anymore. He wants to move on. Because Joe is going to point out that it's not just people, but they're canceling businesses and stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
With Yelp reviews, and he didn't even want to discuss it whatsoever. And to me, I think that's probably this is probably the worst part of the interview, is when he just wants to. He's like, "I'm done. Change the subject. Let's talk about, what do you say, taste buds?
Yeah.
Talk about anything else but that."
Which is, I wouldn't say the worst part, but the most telling about what he feels about the entire situation. Like, okay, I didn't want to be a part of this thing altogether. I need to cut this off right at the knees because it's going to get into deep and terrible territory.
Which is crazy to think that, because like, it's his show, and they brought Joe DeRosa on. You would think that they would have, like, I don't know about you, but I know when we do our Bounding Live, and even when we're talking about did this, like we know like this is what these are like the 3-4 topics that we want to cover.
But to
like,
be fair, we also tangent a lot.
Yeah, true.
So
but
there's
like,
no way to ever know exactly what we're going to talk about on a Bounding Live.
Correct. But this like the beginning of the show started with them talking about like Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake getting canceled. They started talking about people getting canceled. And they were talking about Justin Timberlake apologizing and all that stuff. So like that was obviously like a part of their show. That I think that for that, like Burr knew that it would most likely come up. YouTube Me also says he also says that Burr rarely even says her name.
Whose?
Gina Carano.
Oh, yeah, because he's asking.
Yeah, I mean Joe doesn't even get her name right. I don't know if that was
Carano.
I don't know if he was like trying to tell a joke or what.
I forget all the time.
Well, right. I wasn't like I'm saying. Was that a joke or did he actually know his?
I think he legitimately just didn't know.
Yeah. We do have a $5 super chat from Orville Nation here to get me my bounding fix. Thank you, Orville Nation.
Thanks, BJ.
Appreciate that. Tough Nerd Toys. Thank you for joining us. That's a new name. Says these cancel culture wackos do nothing but issue quintesson judgment. I repeat, guilty or innocent. Innocent. Feed him to the Sharticons. Yeah, it's literally Dark Knight Rises. Scarecrow on the throne, judging people whether or not you will be execution or exile. And exile is death by drowning.
By walking in the lake. Yeah.
Yeah, over a frozen river. Yeah. So there's that. I don't know what YouTube Me is saying here. He says you also outright argue a subject. I think, are you referring to us when we do our Bounding Lives? We do. We have discussions.
Oh yeah, definitely. But what I'm saying is sometimes another topic might come up.
Right. Yes.
That's the nature of conversation.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
But I said we were going to do an hour. We're over that. Where I think we're at an hour 20 almost now. So I went way longer than what I thought we were going to go. But I hope you all enjoyed these. Were there any last thoughts that you guys want to say about this? I think we pretty much covered it.
I mean, this is quintessential Bill Burr. If everyone was expecting him to come out strong against Disney or Lucasfilm, I'm sorry to say that's not who Bill Burr is.
This is no Ricky Gervais Golden Globe speech.
No,
absolutely not.
He's not a Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, this is no Dave Chappelle. All of his Netflix stand-ups where he's calling these people out, and he's even giving that like Dave Chappelle does a Trump and gives them a new nickname in his special that has. I think
now Burr was on the Chappelle Show back in the day.
He was.
Yeah. So
everybody was.
The Chappelle Show. Yeah.
It's just like, or sorry, not. I don't know why I framed it like that, but what I was going to add is, as much as I was saying how rad it was that he is standing up in some capacity, again, he's not Superman right here. He's not Goku. It's infantry line.
He's definitely not Goku giving the speech to Frieza.
Yeah, exactly. This is not that. Mickey Mouse is not down on the ground, half out of energy.
Not even Krillin. I don't even Krillin. Yamcha.
Bill Burr is the farmer from the very first episode of Dragon Ball Z.
That's really bad.
That tries to really bad.
See so that's what we were trying to get at. We want him to be Goku. We want him to be Goku, and that's the criticism that we were making. We want that Goku.
Yeah, I get that now after it sank in.
Yeah.
Maybe more Vegeta.
Yes, for me, Vegeta. So because Vegeta actually turns.
But don't you want him to win?
Ways.
Wow.
Yeah, I do want Vegeta to win. He turns though.
I meant Bill Burr. That's why I said, don't you want him to be Goku instead of Vegeta?
Oh yeah, okay. You got me. Vegeta will get his day. He did.
It's coming.
He fought him to a stalemate. He fought him to a stalemate, Majin Buu.
He's learning a new technique from Beerus right now.
Yeah. But he did fight him to a stalemate in the Majin Buu saga when Goku was Super Saiyan 3 and he was Majin. It was a draw, right?
Yeah, a draw.
He didn't win. He'll get there. He'll get there.
You've got it.
He does. He does beat him in the beginning, and then he gets defeated, right?
He doesn't beat him.
Doesn't he? Doesn't he beat him with he would have if because like Piccolo like he does. He gets him. He shoots him.
Goku's dead. That's Raditz. That's Piccolo.
Oh, that's right.
Raditz.
I'm totally confusing Raditz. Yes. Oh my gosh! Wow! Holy crap! Terrible. Sorry. You're right. You're 100% right.
Fake nerd.
Yeah, I was confusing them. I gotta boot up the Dragon Ball Z.
Gotta brush up
right
on
now. Replay the beginning. Deviant Pork says Vegeta will never have his day. Yeah, it's a shame. All right, yeah. So now we're rambling. we're tangent. We're going on the tangent.
Yeah, now we're tangenting. See,
Spencer was saying, "Cancel John." Yeah, cancel me. But and cancel Spencer.
everybody tries.
But yeah, we're thinking about maybe doing this a daily show where we kind of just talk about this stuff. We're trying to like limit it to an hour. I really wanted to get down to half an hour for this one. I knew we would probably go a little longer. I was thinking an hour, but I didn't think we'd go like an hour and a half like we're at now. But I hope you all enjoyed it. I did see that Tough Nerd Toys says, absolutely love the show. I visit your site daily. Keep up the excellent work. We 100% appreciate that. Thank you so much for doing that. And if you don't know, we do have a YouTube memberships now. Just hit that join button below the video. We have a couple membership levels, and we'll be doing some membership-only streams, and we have some other membership perks if you would care to partake in that. You got a ponyta.
Really pretty.
Yeah. Anyway,
I know that. I got that right.
I know a guy who could grade those for you.
But thank you all for joining us. We really do appreciate your support. And I'm now going to go edit the Daily Stupid, so look for that up on the channel, and then probably about the next hour or two. So thank you all. Hope have a great night, and we will see you. If not tomorrow, we'll see you Wednesday for Abounding Live, and we'll see if we have a special guest. We'll see. I'm waiting for a response to see if they'll join us or not.
It's Bill Burr.
No.
Tough Nerd Toys. I think that's what we're going to do. I think
that's
we're
what
going
we're
to do this
aiming
daily
for,
show. So have a great night, and we will see you all maybe tomorrow, but definitely on Wednesday.
Bye, guys.
See, take it easy.